G'day guys. In 1788, when Governor Arthur Phillip arrived in Sydney Harbour with his small fleet of 11 ships, he set in train a series of events that would ultimately lead in the dispossession of Aboriginal land. Now we know that Aboriginal people had been in continuous possession of this land around me for tens of thousands of years. And we know that Governor Arthur Phillip had orders from Britain in which he was told that he was to establish friendly relations with the natives. Now, by all accounts, Governor Arthur Phillip made every effort to do that. Even at the point in which he was speared and had a spear put through his shoulder, he continued to try and avoid bloodshed and try to avoid conflict. But, as we know, Aboriginal people over the next 200 years were forcibly removed from their land. Now, in large part, the problem came down to people like Governor Arthur Phillip, however well-intentioned, quite simply having no clue about how to read the land and how to read Aboriginal possession of that land. Now, Australia's ancient past can be seen particularly from 4 different types of sites. Now we have painting sites where we'll find Aboriginal rock paintings. We have middens, which are really just Aboriginal rubbish dumps where over, in many cases, centuries or thousands of years, Aboriginal rubbish was dumped in a particular place. We have different sites where Aboriginal people actually modified the land, and so in some places in Australia we have things like eel traps, and we have rock carvings. Now the site I'm at the moment is in Springwood in the Lower Blue Mountains, and here we can actually see an example of this. If I can just get the camera to pan down to the rock engraving here. This here is an example of an axe grinding groove. And if you have a look down here in front of that, what you'll see is this space here, which at one point would have been filled with water, now unfortunately full of cigarette butts. And here along the side of it, we have this very smooth groove. Now, this in and of itself is a sign of continuous Aboriginal habitation and Aboriginal land ownership. Governor Phillip unfortunately just didn't know what to look for and wouldn't have understood that something like this actually indicates ownership of land, or at least connection with land. And the assumption was that Aboriginal people were nomadic, and that should white people move into the area, despite having been here for thousands of years, that they would simply move on. And this view was perpetuated for the next 2 centuries. And as I said, ultimately led to dispossession. Now, over the next week or two, we're going to be studying Australia's ancient past, and we're going to go to several different sites around the Lower Blue Mountains, and we're going to try and understand and interpret some of these sites in a way that Governor Arthur Phillip simply wasn't able to do. Alright, thank you.